welcome to my channel. I am Andrea and this is Beyond the Pink Door, and today's video is just a little catch up just to show you what I've been sewing lately. So I kind of felt I hadn't actually been sewing much over the last couple of weeks, but when I went around and gathered up, I actually had quite a few little things made, so really pleased with that. First of all, I'm going to show you what I am wearing. So this is a Somerset top, which of course, if you follow me for a while, you know I have a Somerset top obsession. So it's a Maven Patterns top, and I usually make one with the normal sleeves, and actually I have two here that I've made. So I've made these from cotton jerseys. This is one. So I usually make like a little 3/4 length sleeve, and I just wear them every day. So that is a lovely cotton jersey. And then I have this one, which is another one, and I just love all the colours in this one. So I've made loads of these, and what I generally do is when I'm cutting fabric orders for my shop, when I get to the end of a bolt, if there's less than a metre left over, I take it off, put it in a pile for pre-washing, and I gather a little pile so I can make some tops for myself. And then I will get them all together when they're all pre-washed, and I will just go on like a little cutting out spree some day or some evening, or possibly during maybe like a Zoom social that we have on a Wednesday and a Thursday evening. I'll just start cutting out a few bits. Then I have some projects then if I feel the notion to go sewing. So I find that is a really good way for me. So I had these cut out, and I also had this one cut out, and this is actually the one with the bishop sleeves. So it's got a long cuff and the gathered sleeve. And funnily enough, I didn't have to do any alterations to the length of the sleeve. I was sure I was going to have to shorten it, and I kind of thought, well, do you know, if it's actually too long, the next time I make one, I will know the alteration, and for now, I'll just fold up the sleeve. But no, it's absolutely perfect. And on the pattern, there's another cuff as well, which isn't quite as long, but I just thought, do you know what, if you're going for the big sleeve, go for the big cuff as well. And I love it. I have to say, it's really cosy. It's a modal jersey. I hadn't sewn with modal before because I had tried it on my old machine, and my old machine had a timing issue and just wouldn't sew it. So I hit it on my new machine and it just flew through it, not a problem at all, and just such a pleasure to sew. And because I've made so many of these Somerset tops, I can whip them up very fast now, and it's really satisfying. So I really like this one, and that's the modal jersey. And I've got really into this colour recently as well. It's not a colour I would normally go for, but I'm reaching for it, and I think it actually suits my colouring. And the other thing that I'm wearing are a pair of jeans that I made as well. So I've had a pair of favourite jeans for a number of years, and they eventually just gave up the ghost and they were threadbare. But rather than throw them out, I actually unpicked them and I made a pattern from them, and I made these jeans. Now they're not perfect, but they're actually not far off being the most comfortable pair of jeans I've ever made, or no, definitely not made. They are definitely the most comfortable, one of the most comfortable pairs of jeans that I've ever worn. And the only other pair that are more comfortable was the pair that I cut the pattern off. So this is them. I made them from the recycled denim that I have in the shop. They're in the indigo colour. They're not a high waist, but they're not a low waist. I think they're like a mid-rise. So they kind of go up a little bit at the back. Now there is a little bit of extra room there, but I'll hit that the next time I make them. I was really pleased with how the pockets turned out. The fly front, I actually used the zipper from the previous pair of jeans, and yeah, they're extremely comfortable. I'm wearing them on and off during the week, and I'm not feeling the necessity to kind of hike them up all the time. This is what I find with ready-made jeans. I have to keep pulling them up. And I know you'll say, Andrea, put a belt on. I hate a belt. I hate the feeling of a belt. I hate bending down with a belt. I just hate a belt. So yeah, whatever way these fit, they just seem to sit and just do what they're told. I feel there's a slight little bit of extra room needed around this area, but again, I'll do that on the next pair. So I am absolutely thrilled. I can't even express how happy I am to have a pair of jeans that I can put on and feel comfortable in. It's just absolutely brilliant. And they're fitting far better than the Megan Nielsen, was it the Ash jeans I made last year? Yeah, they're actually fitting better than they did, and they were actually quite a good fit. But I think this is the way to go for me. So I think that my old jeans were actually so worn in that they had basically moulded to fit me and all my lumps and bumps. So that's why they're just fitting so well. I'm so pleased with them. So I have a few tweaks to do, and now that I know that this method actually works, I'm going to make another pair, and I will film the process of it because I'm sure somebody else would actually like to do what I've done. So yeah, really beyond thrilled with the jeans. And what else have I made? Oh, the last video I made was to make this little top. So this is the Audrey top, the Sew Over It Audrey top. And thank you to everybody who has commented and said that the little tweak that I've made to the neckband has worked for them. So that's great, and that video was an awful long time for me to actually get around to making, and I'm just so glad I made it as well. And I'm so glad I made this little top because I've been wearing this all week as well. So cute. So there's definitely going to be more Audrey tops coming on board over towards the summer. Another top that I've made recently, because I do love the boat neckline of the Somerset. I feel it flatters me and I feel comfortable in it. I feel when I bend down it doesn't dip out. So I really like this. And I had seen a lot of people had made the Jennifer Lauren Handmade gable top, and I thought, oh, that looks really nice. So I bought the pattern. And again, I think what I like about this top as well, the Somerset and the Jennifer Lauren, is that there's no neckband, so they're whipped up really, really fast. So it's just a matter of turning down a self-facing for the neckline, and then it's done. And the Jennifer Lauren top is similar, but it's got a higher neckline. So I made it out of this lovely French terry. Again, you'll see there's a little bit of a colour thing going on today, and after making this one actually is what made me think I should wear that colour more often. I really like it. So yeah, this is it. It's got a higher neckline and it's got a slightly different sleeve. I found that the sleeve is very roomy, which I like, because I often find on tops that these sleeves are quite restricting. So really pleased with the sleeve on this. This I consider to be a wearable toile. If it worked, it worked. If it didn't, I would tweak it for the next time. Because I'm only 5 foot tall, I had to cut off quite a bit off the length of it. It was really long on me. And in hindsight, I actually cut off a little bit too much. But rather than make an actual toile out of some rubbish material, I would rather make something out of a fabric that I'm going to wear. I'll wear it for a little bit, and then I will decide what changes I'm going to make. So on this one, the next time I make it, I am going to lower the neckline ever so slightly. So in the instructions it says to turn down, I think it's 2 centimeters of the self-facing, or you can turn down whatever you find comfortable actually. So I think I'm going to turn it down just a little bit more, because I do find that it sort of gathers here in like a little lump when I'm wearing it. It's not uncomfortable, it wouldn't put me off wearing it, but it's just a little tweak that I think that would make the next one more comfortable, and I will shorten it up less. I'm just finding when I'm wearing it, it's kind of riding up just a little bit too much. And the other thing I'm going to do as well is I'm going to give it a little bit more room down here at the hips. I found it just a tad too tight. In fact, when I put it on first, it was just far too tight, and I just let out the seam allowance right to the end, so that gave me a little bit of extra room. And this is a French terry fabric, so this would be one of the recommended fabrics for it, so something jersey, stretch, and quite structured. So there is stretch in this, but definitely not as much stretch as in like a cotton or a viscose jersey. So many more of these. In fact, I have some fabric pre-washed that I'm going to cut out one possibly today. And the other, I think that's everything I made for myself. Yeah, I'm just looking at my little pile here. So I've been sewing a little bit for Cerys, and I made her this t-shirt dress. Now this was 100% influenced by Angela from Devon Thread Tales. Angela made this exact dress for her daughter, and I saw it in one of her previous videos and I thought, oh, I really like that dress, and that fabric is absolutely gorgeous, and I think Cerys is going to like it. And I also thought, I have a funny feeling I've actually got that fabric ordered for the shop. So I showed Cerys the pictures of Angela's lovely daughter in her dress, and she said, oh yeah, I really like that dress, but the only thing I'd like is if the sleeve was slightly longer. So lo and behold, I think about 2 days later, my fabric delivery arrived, and hey presto, there was the fabric. So it is the happiest, sunniest cotton jersey fabric that I think I've ever seen, and it's absolutely gorgeous. And of course we knew exactly what it was going to look like because Angela had it made, and she had it on her Instagram and she had it on her YouTube video. So this is it. You can see it's a lovely shaped t-shirt dress. It's got a nice little waist on it. And we added, because these came in as well, we added in a little rosy cheeks tag because it was just perfect. I don't know, has that focused? Ah, there we go. So perfect, just on the end of the sleeve. And this was made from the Deer and Doe Givre dress, which I hadn't even noticed. I had it in the shop, hadn't even looked at it, just thought, yeah, that's a nice little dress. And that's the pattern of it. So you can see it's got a sleeve version and a sleeveless version. And what the long sleeve version has is it's got a panel on the top, but I traced out Cerys's size and I just mashed the two panels together because obviously we didn't want a seam in it. So that was really, really easy to do. And it came together really, really fast. In fact, it took longer for me to cut it out than sew it together, of course. I was really particular about the stripes. So when I was cutting out the back and the front on the fold, I made sure that the stripes are all lined up on top of each other, and I actually put a couple of pins in to make sure they didn't go off, and it definitely paid off. And I have to say, I really enjoyed the stripe matching and very pleased with the outcome. So that's it. And Cerys even said to me, oh Mammy, make sure now that you match up all those stripes. So that was very fun. And I have to say, definitely with my new sewing machine and the IDT system on the faff, it makes matching stripes so easy. And it was actually the same with Jennifer Lauren top as well. They matched up very easily. So yeah, so I was really happy with these makes, and I was so pleased. Cerys wore it on Sunday for the live, and she wore her denim jacket over it that I made her last summer, and then during the week when she came home from school, she changed from her uniform into what is normally her pyjamas, but she changed into her little dress because it was actually a lovely afternoon, and she just said that she finds the dress so comfortable that it was as comfy as her pyjamas. So that made me really happy, because there's nothing so satisfying as making for somebody else and seeing that they actually enjoy what you've made them. So yeah, I would really recommend that Givre dress. Absolutely super pattern, came together beautifully. The neckband just went on no problem as well, no gaping, no nothing, no issues whatsoever. And yeah, lovely. So I'm going to use that again to make some t-shirts for Cerys because the fit is just so nice on her. And yeah, happy out. And the other thing that I've made recently as well, and it's actually great to do these videos because sometimes I think, God, you haven't really sewn much at all, Andrea, this is ridiculous. You've got a lovely sewing room, you've got gorgeous fabrics, and you really should make more of an effort to sew. But doing this video and gathering everything up, I thought, I actually have made some really nice things lately. So, I've been dying to do some bra making, and I think I mentioned it on here in one of the last videos. I bought 2 patterns from Studio Costura. So I bought the Mara and the Hannah bralette. So that's the Hannah. And I made 2 of these recently for Cerys. So Cerys is a very slim build, and we find it quite difficult to find things in the shops to fit her. So now we haven't been shopping for a long time anyway, obviously, like everybody else, but the last time we were shopping, we were looking for some bralettes and we just couldn't find them in her size. So I did say to her at the time, do you know what, I will make you some. So we bought kits from Studio Costura. So they have a website which links to their Etsy shop. So you can buy all your little bits and pieces for your bra making, and you can order them in all bits and pieces, or we ordered a couple of kits. So I thought this was a better way to go just for me because I haven't made anything before, and I thought, oh, I could end up buying all the wrong elastic and whatever. So we bought a kit. So we bought 2 kits which had a pattern included. So basically the pattern is emailed to you and the kit comes in the post, obviously. So I thought that was great because that gave me time to print out the pattern, have a look at the sizing, read the instructions and do a little bit of homework. So I really enjoyed that. We waited on tenterhooks for the fabrics to arrive and I just couldn't wait to go making them. So I made Cerys the Hannah bralette and I made it fully from the kit. I didn't make a toile first, I just went for it, which was probably a little bit adventurous seeing as I hadn't made any before and wasn't so sure about the sizing. But this is the one I made, so it's this lovely like peach coloured lace. It's coming up a little wishy-washy on the camera, but it is a lovely peachy colour. And on the inside is a cream jersey. Now everything to make this, apart from the thread, was in the kit. So all the little, I don't know what you call these, little bars and the little ring, the closure at the back, all the different elastics, the strap. Instructions are just absolutely amazing. I thoroughly enjoyed making it because I've never made anything like this before and it was just so interesting to make, and it was just so interesting to see how you actually make it, and saying the instructions were actually so good that it even suggested what size stitch to use. So where to use your straight stitch, where to use your zigzag stitch, how to set your zigzag stitch, even told you when to use maybe 2.5 width, 2.5 length. I thought that was just absolutely brilliant. As a beginner sewing a bra, it was, my hand was held, it was just amazing. So I made her this and she wore it straight away, said it was one of the most comfortable bras she'd ever worn. A few days later then I said to her, I'm going to make you another one. So I said to her, can I get any feedback on this one? And the only thing she said was she felt that where it joined here in the middle, it was a little bit too short. So she did feel she had to keep kind of pulling it back and forth. So I made another one and I made the center join longer and she said that was perfect. So on this one I used lace that came in one of the kits, and I actually just used a white cotton jersey that I had in my stash, and this one she feels is perfect. And she wore this one actually under the frugal frock that I made her. So yeah, she absolutely loves that. So I'm definitely going to make more. I had run out of all the elastic and all the little bits and pieces, so I did another order. Now that I know what to look for and what the descriptions of the different elastics mean and the strapping, I went back onto the Studio Costura Etsy and I ordered little bits and pieces because I still have lots of lace left over from the kit. It's very generous kit in the fact that there's loads of lace, loads of everything, apart from you won't have enough elastic to make a second one, but you would definitely have enough lace to make a second one. So I feel I'm fully kitted out again for more bra making. And I've even assigned one of the drawers in my unit back here to all the bra bits and pieces. And I've also gone into my bra drawer and I've just taken out all the ones I'm not wearing for various reasons, and I've been unpicking all the little bits and pieces, not the elastics, but maybe the straps and the little closure things at the back, just to have them for like testing and toiles. So that's the Hannah Bralette, a really, really lovely make. I would highly recommend it. And then I bought the Mara Bralette. Now again, this is another unstructured, underwired, comfy bra. And this was for myself, so I had absolutely no idea what sizing. So I was trying to work out the sizing. I printed off the pattern. I did think the pattern pieces looked a tad big, but I thought, well, I've never made it before, and maybe, you know, by the time everything gets put together and the seam allowance is taken out and the different elements go together, maybe it'll get smaller. But as I was making it, I was thinking that actually looks too big for me. So I tried it on. It was funny. It was far too big. It looked like I had gone into like my mum's wardrobe when we were kids, when we used to play dress up, and yeah, it was way too big. And then I had a look to see the pattern, to see why would it end up so big. I'm sure I followed all the instructions. I did the seam allowance correctly. I had no problem with the Hannah Bralette. So I went to print out a different size, and then I realised that my printer was actually set to 113%. So that answered that question. So I reprinted out the same pattern, made another, still didn't fit, not quite right. I think it's going to take another couple of toiles before I find the sizing right. I've done lots of research now about sizing for bras, and I'm in the process of reading and trying to understand the sister sizing. So I don't know enough about it yet to even talk about it on here, but it's just another way of figuring out your size. So I made one just basically with bits I pulled off other bras. I made it in its entirety just to see how would it actually fit, because I didn't really care if it fit or not. I knew I wasn't going to wear it. So I just used a cotton jersey that was in the remnant basket. You could literally make some of these out of your scraps drawers. Like, they take so little fabric. So I made this one, and it fit not too bad, but I found that if I pinched it here just in the middle, it fit better. So I went back and I had a look at the sizing again, and I thought, I'm just going to go for it. So I made one out of the kit, and it's actually really nice. It's not a perfect fit, but it's not far off. So this was one of the fabrics in the kit. So it's a really lovely jersey fabric. Love all the colours. It's got an under wiring section, but it's just there for some structure. It's not there for any under wiring wires. So it does feel a little bit more structured than the Hannah bra. In all honesty, I don't think it's structured enough for me. It's not that I need the structure on my bust. I'm not big busted at all. It's just, I think it's just what I'm used to. I'm used to wearing bras with underwires, and I quite like the kind of firmness of them. So I put this on and I thought, yeah, that's really nice, but I don't know, do I love it? So I've ordered the Black Beauty bra pattern, and that's going to be a whole other kettle of fish to learn how to sew as well. So I have some more supplies to buy to actually be able to make that one, because it is an underwired bra. And again, I'm having a look at all the different sizing. So I feel like I'm on a completely new sewing journey. It's actually just so interesting and yeah, so challenging. So the sewing together of the bra is not that difficult at all. It's down to the sizing. So I think it's kind of on par with sewing trousers, sewing jeans. Structurally, they're quite easy to put together, but it's the bloomin' fitting that's the hard part. So Cerys is actually at school today because they've extra study going on because she's in her final year of school. So I'm filming this on a Saturday. It's a really, really lovely day and we've great plans to cut the lawn in the afternoon, hopefully. Sometimes she comes back from school after study and she's really, really tired. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. But I have a few fabrics over here that are pre-washed and ready for whatever they're going to be. So I think I'm going to do like a little bit of a cutting out session now this morning while she's at school and just leave them then for running up during the week. So I've been reaching for my South Bank sweater quite a lot lately and I fancy a few more of those. So I think the orange on the top is going to be that, and I think there's going to be another gable top in there as well. And then I am really, really loving the Nina Lee spring dress that came free in the Simply Sewing magazine. I don't subscribe to the Simply Sewing magazine, but I actually ordered it online just for the pattern and I'm so pleased. I really, really like it. So I'm going to trace out this pattern today. And I'm humming and hawing between the sizing on it. So if anybody's made it, can you let me know in the comments how you found the sizing? I normally sew a size 10 in the Nina Lee and it just works. And I'm actually falling into the size 10 apart from the waist on the size chart. But when I look at the finished measurements, there's very little ease. I'd like a little bit more ease. And I have a funny feeling that the sleeves are going to be a little bit tight on me. So yeah, if you've made it, maybe you might just pop into the comments how you found the sizing of it. So yeah, that's all I have to share today, and I am going to say goodbye and I will see you in my next video, and I'm going to get on with a little bit of cutting out. Bye for now. Bye.